Hello, people. Can you hear me? Okay. So, in the meanwhile, I will be waiting for you to join, and let me write down the agenda. Hello, people. So, in today's agenda, we will be seeing out the foundation related to data analytics and some hinge of Excel basics. Okay. So this is will be your topic, today's topic. Okay. Yeah. I will be waiting for you people to join. Yeah, Arya Nayak was in mute, so sorry for that. I was not speaking. Okay, can you hear my voice, people? Yeah, everyone. Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay, fantastic. Super. Mhm. Okay, so let me start some part of an understanding. Later on, we can take the questions. Okay, fine. Yeah, people. Let me re-welcome you. Okay, on the boot camp today. So today's session. One second. So today's session is about the data analytics foundation. So the foundation, what we have, the foundation what we have is about data analytical terms. We call it as data analytical terms. We call it as stages of analytics. Stages of analytics. So in the stages of analytics, we have the four phases. Okay. Starting with the first phase, we call it as descriptive. Descriptive. Second one is diagnostic. Third one is predictive. Last one is prescriptive. So these are the four stages of analytics what we need to learn. Okay. So as in the understanding, we need to be starting or kicking off with respect to data analytical terms. When I ask you, when I ask you about a name called descriptive, how can you define me? Once again, people, let me open those things. Okay. When I start off by telling you a name called descriptive. Descriptive. Okay. What do you mean by descriptive? Where I describe about a data. Describe about data. Okay. What kind of a data I can express? So, can you tell me? Can you tell me a situation where This entire world was on vacation at least 2 years. We were on vacation mode. Means there was no work for us. What is the time? What is the timeline we have? Yeah, people. So 2019 to 2021, there was a situation called pandemic. Okay, what was this pandemic was related to? COVID-19. COVID, sorry, spelling. COVID-19. In this COVID-19, what we like frightened of was a situation where if I'm getting a less cold or a fever, even a cold or a fever, we were scared to meet a doctor. Why? There was a situation, if I tell him something, he will like to say that you got COVID, you need to do be in home isolation, or you need to be going under quarantine, these kind of terms. Yeah, way much distractful. So, as in the case, there was a situation where a person met a doctor where this person was having a fever. Okay, having a fever over a period of time where he himself waited for 1 week, that this might be a normal flu or normal cold, that this will be getting completed as soon. Okay, but what he saw what he saw that after 1 week he was not able to recover. Okay, there he went to the doctor. Okay, so when he visit to the doctor, he asked a question. Who is asking? Doctor is asking a question that what is the problem? What is the problem you are facing right now? Okay, the patient will describes him the history of his problem. Like, sir, I was some a guy where I ate this curd rice at night time. After that, I ate ice cream. Okay, followed by that, I went to my bed. Okay, suddenly when I woke up in the morning, I felt like something was not easy. So from that time being, I'm not feeling well, doctor, over a period of a week, and I'm feeling some dizziness which is related to my body. So where he is describing about the history, and this part will be coming under a name called descriptive analytics. This part will be coming under a name called descriptive analytics, where it will justify a particular name called what is the problem. What is the problem? Okay, got it, people? Any doubts? I'm waiting for your response. Yes, exactly. Yeah, any questions over there? Okay, fantastic. So let me check on the other things. Okay, so first we had what is the problem. Okay, so here we stopped yesterday's session by understanding the business understanding, where I asked the same thing, what is the problem? Yeah, same thing I will be taking out now. Okay, so let me consider all you people as working under one area. Okay, like I will consider that my audience right now is like not married. Okay, uh, they are still studying in the phase. Okay, I ask you a question related to your household. Okay, what is that is like, who is the boss in your house? I'm asking a question. Who is the boss in your house? Like when I consider father, mother, okay, and you being a brother or you being a sister there. Okay, there are four people in the family. Consider a simple case. Okay, out of these people, who is the boss in the family? Yeah, people, I want your response. Who is the boss in that family? Is it a father? Is that mother? Hmm? Okay. So let me take a situation where I will consider the boss being the mother of every home. Okay. So I think a situation where a mother words cannot be kept aside. Okay. So the thing, on a perfect Sunday, on a perfect Sunday, there was an what do you call food preparation for perfect weekend. For perfect weekend, a mother decided to host something a good lunch today on particular Sunday. I'm taking on Sunday. Okay, so mother thinks that I want to try to prepare biryani. Okay, I want to try to prepare biryani. Side by that, I want to have something like I'm preparing biryani in the lunch, no? So in the meanwhile, in the morning hours, I will be preparing some bread omelette. Okay, bread with omelette. Okay, so as seeing this situation, mother decided to prepare these kind of a stuff in home. Okay, now mother ordered your father to get some of the groceries needed for these preparation of bread omelette, and with biryani she ordered some groceries to father to bring those kind of a stuff here. Okay, so the items what she asked was, she want bread. Okay, she want eggs. Okay, she wanted some of the spices. Okay, and okay, let me remove the spice. I don't want spice. There are spice in the home. Okay, let me consider some of the milk packet. Okay, some mm, okay, some veggies, something like this, and like let me take meat. Okay, so whenever a task is given to his employee or his what do you call worker. Okay, so one thing what a person will understand is, whatever the things what we want should be at top notch. Okay, father went to market to bring all those stuff, but what he bought right now. When he bought that items and gave it to mother, boss is not happy. Boss is not happy. Why? What might be a reason, people? Why the boss is not happy? Hmm? What might be the reason why boss is not happy? Yeah, think a scenario why the mother or the boss is not happy here. Forgot some items. Fantastic. Think some more. Quality. Fantastic, Arya. Yeah, quality. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Think or think more. Okay. So, as I'm taking out those suggestions, the same thing happened here. Okay, what is that is when father bought the bread, eggs, milk, veggies, and meat, the things was not cleared by the father. What he does is he want a bread. Okay, boss want a bread, but the person who bought this bread was a milk based bread, which is was milk based bread, but mother, being the boss, was expecting a wheat flavored bread. Okay, mother has informed that buy some eggs. Okay, buy some eggs, but this person, okay, he bought only two eggs. Buy some, he bought only two. There wasn't nothing which is been satisfied, but later on boss telling me that I need to buy at least half a dozen or a dozen of an eggs. Okay, now lastly, the milk packet was thought to be like I don't know why this person bought four packets. Mother expected that only one packet was more than enough. Okay, so this is a problem where a person, where consider a situation where a customer and a service provider will face the same problem. Service provider will face the same problem. When you get some of the business problem, what is the solution you need to provide? Okay, this kind of misunderstanding, miscommunication will be happening there. How to solve this, people? Can you give me a suggestions? How can I solve this? Yeah, anyone? If this is a problem where there is a miscommunication which has been happening, how to solve that? Sir, that is a separate families issue. Why we will enter? No. You being a data analyst, you need to understand with respect to the situation and you need to provide us suggestions there. Clear the description on the items. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, any more suggestions? Mother should have to be cleared how much items needed. Uh, Samiksha, can you back questions your mother? Like whenever she is scolding you, consider, can you back answer them? I don't have a dare to back answer my mother. Like being a boss, you need to clear your understanding there itself. Okay, so whatever the problem we are facing, okay, in order to go till the last part, we need to clear out the what is the uh, in our scope, what is going out of the scope, we need to clear ourselves. Okay, that is the strategies what you need to adapt. Okay, yeah, people, any more suggestions or any more questions related to this? No, fine. So what is the thing, next time what a person who has given a task need to do is he need to do some urgencies there. Okay, and try the convey the same thing. Okay, like this misconception will be happening. No, she will be telling that whenever I, okay, being in a place where you suggested me to back question, oh okay, whatever I bought, you need to back question. Okay, next, when I bought that particular item, if she says that, what, if she says that yeah, I have told you to bring, instead of a bread based wheat, okay, you bought milk based. Okay, but I have said to you a wheat based, instead of eggs, which I said that you need to buy half a dozen or a dozen, you bought only two. Okay, I already said that I told you to buy a milk packet. Did I told you four? This kind of a back question will be happening there. Okay, so in order to avoid that, next time this person went to the market, like next time when he get some task, he will do some situation where he hurry himself, and he will go to that specific area where he want to buy those groceries or something else, and he will tell in a hurry where I got some work right now. Okay, I got some work right now, can you message me either in a WhatsApp or a normal message where I can buy whatever the items you need. Okay, I can help you there. Now he will buy all those items, he will buy all those items, and he will be coming back, and he will be giving to his boss, and the boss now is again not happy. But why, sir? You can ask a question, no? Like, okay, in the previous time you did not write any note in your hand. Okay, didn't bought any sort of a things, but you just got to that market and bought all those products and gave to the boss, and boss was not happy due to some miscommunication. But here there is no miscommunication, but boss being a boss, she is not happy. What might be a problem here? Father is being a problem? No. What might be a problem in the next situation where he hurry himself and tell that I will buy something from the market, even after getting some message and cross verifying that whatever the things I bought is good products. Okay, there is no problem in that, I bought a good product. Even after that, boss is not happy. what to do now? See, consider a situation when you go to a market and I'm being a child, father is not going now. I'm going to the market. I'm ordered that I need to buy some vegetables of cucumber. Okay, I need to buy some cucumber of 1 kg, half kg of carrot. Okay, 250 grams of green chilies, one capsicum. Okay, three capsicums. Okay, so these are the things what I need to buy from the market. I bought it. I came back to home and hand over to my mother and gave the change, whatever the change was given to me. I have given back to my mother, and whatever the things she told me, I bought all the things. But even after, mother is not happy. Mother is not happy. What might be a problem right now? Yeah, people. Yeah, people. No? So, mother is not happy due to she was expecting something called complementary things like green, leafy. Okay, let me take this coriander and what do you call leaves. Okay, curry leaves. So these two products, which is called as a complementary, those complementary things were not there. Okay, so the client expect the same thing, the customer expect the same thing, and these things need to be stated up. Okay, yeah, people. Any questions from this particular part? This is called business understanding, and you need to understand about this particular aspects. Yeah, any doubts? Okay, so I will be checking once in a while where you will be putting out in your questions here, people. So let me check if you are facing any problem with respect to those. Okay, now let me start off by explaining some of the understanding with data analytical terms. So in today's part, we will be understanding about the Excel. Okay, later on there is a name called Python. Okay, let us do one thing. Let me connect Excel, later on SQL, later on with Python. Okay, this will be discussed on going class, not exactly today, but today will be discussed on what do you call Excel part. Okay, yeah, this Excel part. Okay, so let me understand one thing in today's session. So Excel is a format Excel is a format of of data terms or data aggregations or whatever the things are called. Okay, whenever I call you Excel is a format of a data is being classified into three types. Okay, so the types what I call it as, one is structured data. This is a structured data. Next one is unstructured data. Lastly is your semi-structured data. Okay. So when I call a term like this, structure, unstructured, semi-structure, okay, this is one of the major understanding people understand this concept way much in a depth. So by name itself, we can understand what is a structured data. Structured data will be looking something like this, where I will be having some table, okay, something like this, something like this, something like this. If not, let me open you a format called Excel. Okay, so the Excel will be looking something like this, okay, where there will be a table. Okay, so the data what I have, the horizontal data what I have, which is called rows. Okay, these are columns. The vertical part are called columns. Okay, when the data is being stated as a data which consists of a rows and column, that data said to be a structured data. Okay, especially your Excel data is called as structured data. Okay, now let me tell you about a semi-structured data. So a data which is called semi-structure, okay, when I have a value something like this, okay, let me take a column names like this, name, okay, gender, okay, age, followed by, okay, let me reconnect this. Yeah, let me take from here, name, gender, age, followed by Srihari, okay, followed by 23, okay, sorry, mm, followed by M, followed by 23, okay, followed by Satish, okay, followed by uh, okay, sorry, hmm, let me take M and 24. So these are something data what I have. Okay, can you tell me what are column names here? What are the column names? Okay, what are column names and what are row values? What are column names and what are row values? Can anyone tell me what are column values or what are row values? 1 second, people. Yeah, can anyone tell me what are column, what are row? I'm asking the only the data, the values. Yep. Which are the column names here? Which are the row names or row values here? Yeah, waiting for your response, people. Okay. Column names like columns like age, gender, name. Okay, these are your column. Okay, but if there is a name called Srihari, should I consider that as an column name? No, no. So this data where it will be separating the names of a column or a values by a delimiter. Delimiter, what do you mean by a delimiter? Where the values which separates the sentences or a names which separates the names or a sentences are called delimiter in a uh, general layman terms. Okay, so this delimiter what I have, what can be like, it can be a comma, it can be a full stop, it can be an exclamatory mark, it can be an slash, it can be an dollar symbol. Okay, it can be something like this. Now we have this data which has been taken up with commas now. So those data are called semi-structured data, which is looking like an kind of a structure, but it is not a properly a structure how I'm having a rows or a columns. Okay, fine. So these kind of a data, especially these kind of a data are being called as a file named called CSV. What is CSV? The name is called, the full name is called comma separated values. Comma separated values. Okay, yeah people, any doubts on this? Okay, let us dig on to last part of data, which is called unstructured data, where data what I have right now can be like the same thing, like Srihari is likely to train audience. Okay, and seeking for 2 hours class over a period over a period of 7 days, of 7 days. Okay, so what I will do is, okay, what I will do is I will see this particular sentence. Okay, let me zoom out a bit. Okay, rows are horizontal data and columns are vertical data. Fantastic, exactly. Now what I will try to do is I will take the data. Can I take this data and can I do some tabular format on this particular data? Like, should I write something like Srihari is likely, okay, to train? I cannot do that. So what do you mean by a structure is a data which should be in the format of a proper rows and a column. Like, do we have any rows for this? Should we have any column for this? No, no. But a data which is not in the format of any rows or any columns, but also if it has been not separated by a delimiter, that type of a data we call it as unstructured data. That type of a data we call it as unstructured data. Yeah, any doubts on this? Okay. So let me tell you something about today's session where we are starting with some of the Excel part. Okay. So let me start off by explaining some of the basics. Okay. So Excel will be when I open this. Okay. When I open Excel, it will be looking something like this, where I have A till end, which is when I start with Control Shift right arrow mark. Okay, you can see the end, which is going on and on and on. Okay, to a proper end. There is no such proper end right now, but you have some limitations. What is that limitations? What you will be getting out is, so yeah, you can just hover your mouse. Okay, and when I left out by clicking this, I will be getting the exact data, how many columns I have. Okay, but we will not think about right now about that, but let me tell you one thing, that when you try to save a data in Excel, it will be about 5 million records to 15 million records can be saved into an Excel file. 5 million to 15 million records can be saved in an Excel file. Okay, but what about the larger data? Okay, okay, that data when can be, if you cannot store a data larger than 15 million records or a rows or a data, so those data can be stored in a name called SQL, which we call it as SQL databases. Okay, SQL databases. Okay, fine. This is the major contradiction what we need to understand. So whenever I open a sheet, there is a ribbon bar where I have the file format. Okay, insert, page layout. Okay, every sort of a things. Okay, so let me write something for you. Okay, um, something like a name, age. Okay, let me something like zoom it for further sense. Okay, name, age, gender. Okay, and this data what I have, name I am taking Srihari. Okay, um, Andrew. Okay, age 23, age 24, gender male, male. Okay, um, um, Shreya. Okay, um, Anu, something like names like this, 25, 24. Okay, so let me paste out some values differently like this. Okay, where I have name, age, gender, all those columns right now. So what is the use of Excel? So I'm using the version of 2019 or 2022. One second, people, let me check that. Um, so it is 2021. Okay, the account what I am using is 2021's account. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to save a file. Okay, I'm saving as a file. Okay, so let me save the file. Okay, let me browse, let me click on for the desktop, let me create another file. Mm, okay, the folder what I need is Excel file. Okay, and this book should be called as data. Okay, let me call it as data, but I will not try to save this in Excel S6, which is an Excel workbook. If I save in Excel workbook, okay, let me do one thing. Let me try to save data in Excel format once. Okay, so let me showcase that one as well. Once again, people, let me showcase that Excel data, how this Excel data will be looking like. Okay, let me close this. Desktop and Excel. Let me save in this. Okay, let me close this. Yeah, let me open this. Okay, just once. I'm getting this proper data. Okay, now I'm doing something changes for this. I'm saving as in Excel. Okay, but the workbook what I'm taking is a name called CSV UTF-8 comma delimited dot CSV. Okay, I'm clicking on this and clicking on save. Okay, let me close this again. Let me open the file data.csv and another file data.xls. Okay, so let me, yeah, you can see this particular data right now. Can you compare the data which is name, age, gender, which is in the tabular format, which is having a rows and a column here? And can you see the same thing here where I'm getting the name, age, gender, which is in the format of commas here? So we have saved the file in a format called CSV, okay, which is comma separated value. This data what I am showcasing right now, this is comma separated values, and on the left which is being called as Excel data. Okay, fine people, any doubts on this? Yeah. So one thing, whenever you are being taken up in write up of data, so one thing you need to understand, okay, Excel file will be in the format of an extension, like how we have a PDF, okay, dot PDF. The Excel file will be having the format which is called as XLS6. Okay, the comma separated values will be having a name called CSV.XLS6. Okay, so these are regular files which will be seen every now and then in data analytics, in the data analytics. Okay people, so let me start off in today's session where we will be understanding, okay, we got an understanding of what is Excel data, what are the things which is happening. Okay, so what are the things will be carried out in Excel some more. Okay, so let me write something like, let me continue in this particular part of our data. Let me hide this. Okay, so let me create another column called marks. Okay, let me create another column called mm, subject 1. Okay, let me write here subject 1. Okay, subject 2, subject 3, subject 4. Okay, there are 4 subjects. Let me consider 4 subjects. Okay, the marks, the total marks. Okay, these are some things what I have. Okay, I'm checking on to the values. I'm checking on to the values where, let me take the subject 1. What I am getting right now is like, for this subjects, all the subjects is evaluated for 100 marks. Okay, so to get 100 marks, at least I need to have 36 as a passing mark. Okay, so I'm getting a value which is 38 here. Okay, let me take another subject 42. Okay, 58, and lastly is 80. Okay, and I am getting something like the other marks. Okay, let me add all those values, and let me, I'm taking on random values, not exactly the same thing. Sorry, 46. Mm, okay. Okay, and 95. Okay, so these are the marks what I obtain. Okay, so I'm being a person, like instead of 38 marks I consider like 36, not 38. Instead of considering that, I will consider that the person who are getting less than 40 considered to be failed. Okay, I'm being strict over it. Now let me evaluate each scores. Okay, so out of 400, like subject 1, 2, 3, 4, which is calculating me to 400 marks, how many marks I have obtained? How many marks I have obtained? For this I'm using a formula sum. Okay, I'm using the first cell, I'm using shift button and moving the right arrow mark key. Okay, I'm selecting the next column which is in the next cell. Okay, the next cell, using the shift button and clicking on the right arrow mark and right arrow mark. From subject 1 to subject 4, I'm clicking on first on subject 1 which I want. I'm clicking on the shift button and clicking on the right arrow mark till subject 4. Okay, now I'm closing the bracket, hitting enter. Now I'm getting the values which is 218. 218. So this was the one student marks out of 400. What happens if I just drag and drop the values? What happens if I just drag and drop the values? What is the value I will be getting? I am getting the values of each and every student out of 400, how much the total marks they are getting there. Okay, so the expression what I used right now, the name called expression, we call it as sum. Okay, what is the major role of the sum is to do a total of the values. Okay, yeah people, any doubts here? Okay, now I have a doubt. Okay, what is the doubt is, I'm considering the person who is less than 40 marks. Who is less than 40 marks, I want to consider that person to be failed, and above 40 marks, I need to consider that person to be pass. Okay. Now, how to get that particular things here? So, I will write a column name called result. Okay. In this, suppose this person is failed here. The row 1 person is failed. Okay. Is not good in studies, he will fail here. But I don't want each and every value to be compared out, but I need to use some logics to figure out in a one go that either a person to be a failed or pass. Okay, so for this I will use values like, if I'm getting 1, I will be considering myself as a pass. If I am getting 0, I will be considering the value as to be failed. Okay. Any questions how I need to do that, or any idea how to do that? Okay. So I'm thinking on an idea that if 38 marks is greater than 40. Okay. If, okay, 1 second people. Okay. So if I take other value, if I take 42 is greater than 40, or 58 is greater than 40, 80 is greater than 40. So what is the thing when I try to compare a value? So the comparison of a value, how you will be getting is in the terms, the data we call it as, a name called Boolean value. Boolean value. This Boolean value will be termed in the values or a terms called true or false. True or false. Okay. So I need to get the value which is true or false. So for this, there is a name called logical operator which open up here. Okay. So what is the logic? What I apply is, there are two logic operators. One is AND operator, one is OR operator. Okay. So let me take off for AND values. Okay. Let me consider this as an input, this as an input. Okay. So input. Okay. So what is that value? Is 38 is greater than 40? Is it true or is it false, people? Is 38 is greater than 40? Definitely it is false. Okay. Is 42 is greater than 40? Yes, it is true. Here, one thing what we can note here is, in AND operator, in AND operator, what you need to think out is, whatever the values in AND operator, if any one of input is false, definitely the output is false. Okay. Now what I expect now is output. So here I will be getting the thing as false. Okay. I will be applying the same thing. If I place a true here and place a false here, what will be the value, people? in AND operator, if I put true and false, what will be the value, what I will be getting in output now? Yeah, this is also false. Now, if I take another value which is true and this is true, then the output will be true. Okay. If the value is false and false, the value will be false. Okay. So let me apply the same thing. Okay. Let me apply the same thing and let me check. First is 1 and second is 0. Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me come back to this particular segment where I was describing about the question. So, sorry. So let me declare the results right now. So here I want to take an operator called AND. Okay, I'm taking an operator called AND where I need to apply for this first logic. Okay, D2 should be greater than 40. Okay, followed by next cell. I need to use shift button with right arrow mark. Okay, so you can see if I'm clicking on shift button with the right arrow mark, it is going to the jump the current cell I2 to J2. So this is not the thing what I expect. So what I will do is after one logic, after D2 is greater than 40, if it has been done, I will select the next cell and both I will do like once I click on the cell button of S2 row 2, I am using my control button in my keyboard. Okay, now I will apply the same logic greater than 40. I'm doing the same thing. If I'm going to the next cell, I'm clicking on the control button. Now I'm using greater than 40. I'm applying the same till the end here and applying the same logic which is 40. Now let me close it. Okay. So let me drag and drop till end. Okay. So I got that Srihari is a person who has false value which is failed there, and rest of the other value are pass which is true. If I do the same logic, but the logic here will change. What is that logic here is a name called OR operator or called OR logic. So if I take two inputs, okay, note here the for logic of OR gate, it says that if any one of the input, if any one of the input is true, definitely the output will be true. The output will be true. Okay, so this is a logic behind the concept. Okay, so let me take input output. So if I take 38 is greater than 40 and 42 is greater than 40, I'm getting false here, I'm getting true here. Okay, so what will be my output, people? Will I get the value false or true? What I will be getting here? True. Okay. So as per the definition, if any one of the input is true, definitely the output will be true. So if I create another column called result duplicate, okay, result duplicate, if I check with different gate, which is OR gate, okay, I'm applying the same logic. There is no change in the logic. D2 should be greater than 40, followed by this value should be greater than 40, followed by this value should be greater than 40, followed by comma. Lastly, this value should be greater than 40 and close the bracket and hitting enter. Now let me just drag this data and drop this data. Now in the result duplicate, what I achieved is considering all the student to be passed. Now can you tell me, should I use AND operator, should I use OR operator, where which is the best operator which is providing me the exact result? Which one I need to use? Is it AND or is it OR? Yeah, people. Okay. So it is AND then. So let us use some of the logics where Excel file also been used. Okay. So let me take some of the logic where in PAN card, you know about a PAN card. Okay. PAN card details in Excel, when you check on this. Okay. How you will be finding on those details in your PAN card? Like what are the things, like when I take something names like this, a value or a PAN card ID, what I have is something like DSPK 0108K or P, something like this. Okay, so how this PAN card has been created? First thing, let me enter the column names or the field names. Okay, so to get the PAN number, you need to have a full name of a person. Okay, father's name, father's name. Okay, these are the columns what I'm typing now. One second. Okay. Uh, Let me tell you something. Like whenever you face that father's name is going into the next cell, just use this segment in alignment. There is a name called wrap text. Click on this. It will be adjusting along to the cell. What I need to do is I need to click on that particular cell, click on the wrap text. It will be adjusted along to the cell. Okay. Next, date of birth. Let me type DOB, date of birth. Okay. Next, okay, that is more than enough. Okay. Mm, okay, the city and the place, area where you are staying. Okay, so the full name what I have is K Srihari. Okay, let me type this. Karanam Srihari it is. and let me type my father's name case Rao. Okay, date of birth, okay, let me type 22 1 1996, something like this. Okay, let me wrap this text again. Okay, so if not, let me drag this if it has been not taking up. Okay, city, let me take the city right now is in Bangalore, and the area, let me take some random area. um, uh, R R R Nagar. Okay, so a PAN card details, what it will be checking. PAN card, when you are creating a PAN card, okay, what it will be checking right now is, let me copy this thing, 1 second. Okay, let me paste this. Okay, let me take some, when it PAN card takes something weird characters, okay, it will take some distinguish letters. Okay, it will be taking letters from my name. Okay, it will be taking letters like KS. Okay, uh, RA. Okay, let me take R. Okay, like let me take from this 90 01. Okay, something. Okay, 0119. Okay, not. Okay, let me take 119. Okay, okay, let me take B, only B, and let me take R. Okay, so these are some of the value which has been taken from a card details. Okay, so I want all this value which is a single letters to be come under of one particular cell, one cell. So I will be using a name called concatenate or concat. So let me click on this particular cell, shift, move to the next cell, or I can use control with the shift button till the click on the right arrow mark till the end. Whatever the values I've been written, I will be selected and close that particular brackets. Now clicking on the enter button, now you will be having the PAN card value or PAN card number where you can see, which is an collaborate of a values of a different categories data. When it has been collaborated, it will be getting me one particular value. That value is nothing but your PAN card value. Okay, so let me give some hint of a note here is, if someone is using 2019 or any older version of this, the concat might be upgraded, degraded to a name called concatenate. Okay, if concat not works, use a concatenate. If the values, if you are using the both the things concat and concatenate, if you are using and if you face the error, okay, that might be an issue with Excel. Okay, there is a bug error which is present in Excel where it will be not showcasing a proper format. For that, to check, we have a name called Google Sheets. You can check in that as well. Okay. Yeah, people. Any doubts till here? Similarly, how Aadhaar card has been created on the same basis, people, but it will be having some unique identification numbers. Those unique identification numbers is been taken by something like randomly of your numbers of a name. Okay, the place where you will stay. Okay, the pin code what you have, the every combination will be taken up and it will be creating a unique IDs there. Okay, so that is how an Aadhaar card is also being developed. Okay, for that it will be taking much time to explain for those things. Okay, let us not waste for those particular understanding, but you got some hinge of an idea with respect to what is concatenate will do when we want to create an PAN card. Okay, any doubts, people? Any questions? Yeah, I'm looking out for questions. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me take some questions right now. And one more thing, people, there is a form which has been pinned in your uh, YouTube uh, pin comment. So click on that and try to fill those form and submit it by today. Okay. Um, so that is something like an bootcamp overview what we are focusing on. Okay. Try to fill those forms today itself. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Sorry, people. So if I want to create some more data related to some company related profile. So I'm taking on employee ID. Okay. The name of that person. Okay. The department he works and the sales of that particular area with respect to the quantity and yeah, this is the thing. So here I'm mentioning out the employee IDs like 101, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. Okay, let me take a question. Okay, sir, for pass or fail, you have used Boolean. Why is it so? So, uh, Anbushri, the thing why I'm using the logical operator, which is true and false, this is used for Excel operations. Okay, this is used for Excel operation. Why we will use in this Excel is like we cannot use something like a fail as operator for which is in present in AND. So and our OR operator will gives us a value which is either a true or either a false. Okay. So if you want to convert this a true or a false, you need to use something like conditions. Okay. So where you can put out that values. Let me use that thing right now. So where I need to create some rules. Okay, so which is the top value, which is the lowest value, which is the highest value, if you are getting those values. So let me post that value. Okay, one second, it's been not set it. Okay, I need to access this. So let us see that particular aspect. Okay, so if if I'm getting a value which is false can be replaced by a value which is fail, and true value which can be later on written as a pass. Okay, so these two things can be taken out when we are addressing some of the facts there. Okay, so those kind of a things is somewhat like trickier when you are trying to do in Excel. Okay, but when you go for some of the advancement tools like when I connect this data and I don't want like I need to apply for each and every what do you call statements to be having a true or a false, I will be using one thing called a name called SQL, where I will be using a condition and I will be getting a values which is related to states a range of a values, to set a range of a value, where I will be getting a range of a value, whether it will be declaring if the value is lying between 0 to 40, that value to be fail, and the upcoming value to be pass. Okay, the upcoming value to be a pass can be obtained in SQL aspect, but if you are trying to do in Excel, it will be a long term value where you need to invest your time. Okay, so that is a thing, people. So what I'm trying to do in today's classes, I will showcase what are the basics thing what you need to understand from the Excel point of view, and in tomorrow's class when I take in SQL, you will be allowing to understand how these things can be simplified in a simple word. Okay, yeah, people. Any doubts regarding to those much more aspects? Fine. Let me explain you some of the other topic. In the meanwhile, take up write up more questions. I will be answering those as well. Yeah. So let me take a person, John Doe, um, Ben, Steve, Mark. Okay. So the department what they are working is sales. One is HR, one is HR, one is in IT. Okay, again let me take HR and sales. So the sales value here, sales value what I am getting is 200. Okay, 200, 250. Oh, one second, not 25. 250, 300, 350. Okay, 180. Let me take some random numbers. 180. Okay, so the quantity what I have is 2, the 3, 4, 9. Okay, not take 9. Let me take uh 3. Let me take 3 again, and let me take 2. Okay, so these are some of the values where I'm taking right now. Okay, so my concern, my concern is when I take some of these values, okay, I want a proper data which is to be segregated, where on an average, how much sales I'm getting for sales, or overall, what is the average sales? What is the average sales which is happening? So what I will be taking up is equals to AVG. Okay, if I type AVG, I'm getting a name called rank average. I don't want this. I want to check the average. On an average, how much is the value I'm getting. So I'm selecting from top till bottom and hitting the enter. I'm getting those value where I'm getting on an average of that particular department. I'm getting out 256, which is an average of a value. Okay. So if you are considering to take a department by sales, okay, so you can do sales with respect to depart. Okay, you need to create a column called sales. Okay, HR. Okay, IT. Okay, HR. Okay, there are 3 departments. For this I will take a value AVG, sorry, average. Okay, average, I will take this button. Okay, this one, and close this and hit enter. I will be getting those values. Okay, similarly I will be taking the HR where I will be taking on 250 this value and this value. Okay, 1 second, I need to type average. Okay, so I need to take this value and close the bracket, hit enter. So this is how I can do when it has been with respect to an department average. Okay, so there are many such things. Okay, let me take one more aspect here, which is called count. Okay, which is count and count A. Okay, what does this count does? So I'm checking, this is my table. This is one of my table what I have. Okay, let me do something like this. Okay, now this table what I have, I want to check how many rows of the value has been stored. Okay, let me check count. Okay, from selecting employee ID till end. Okay, let me close this bracket. Let me close this bracket and let me click on enter. So I'm getting the count which is 5. Why 5? So there are the values 1 2 3 4 5 6. There are 6 rows, but I'm instead of getting 6 I'm getting 5. Okay, but let me check with this when I use count A. Okay, when I click on this particular ID and let me select the end and close the bracket and click on this, hit enter, I'm getting 6. Okay, what is the major difference? What is difference between count and what is the difference between count A? So whenever you are typing something code or the formula and you stuck, what is the thing what I'm trying to achieve? So just wait there. Okay, just wait there and okay, so yeah, when I click on that count, there is an option called help which tells me the count function counts the number of a cell that contains the number and the counts the number within the list of our arguments. Okay, where it is telling the counts number, it is telling me to count the number within the list of the arguments. Okay, so remember the word called count numbers. Okay, so what happens if I select from this till end? Okay, close the bracket, close the bracket and hit enter, I'm getting 5. Okay, now 1 second, when I click on for count A, count A. Okay, so see the definition for a count A here. So the count A, the article describes the formula, the syntax and the usage of the count A in the function in Microsoft, where function describes or counts the number of cells that are not empty in a range. Also require the first representing the values that you want to count. Okay, so this will tell you that it will count the empty rows as well. It will be focusing on the alphabet of a data. It will be considering the numerical values as well. Okay, so it will be considering all the aspects of the data people. Okay, so this is some part of your Excel concepts in today's session. Okay, uh, with respect to the formulas what we have so far. Okay, let me take some of the interesting aspects now. So when I take this department and sales, okay, when I click on to the insert and put out some of the charts like this, like random charts, if I click on this, it will be giving me some of the insights which is been present. So what are the insights which has been taken up here is sales column. Sales is a value, the overall value, and the values, the numbers which is been a sales value, we are getting at the bottom. Okay, at the left, which is in the y-axis, and x-axis we are getting the sales value. So this is something what an data analyst will do whenever they are being taking up this particular aspect. Okay, the much depth of the concept is can be learnt from this Excel when you take up the much more advantages. Yes, there is an option called a name called lookups. Okay, so what are those lookup? Let us see that particular topic. After that, I'm open to take up your questions. Okay, um yeah, a name called X lookup, which is an advanced method in Excel. The major concern will be taken up is this particular accept. So I'm using a formula called X lookup. In this X lookup, I need to find for a lookup value. Okay, so one second, let me create something, a different part. Let me create um, new sheet. Okay, let me create a new sheet. One second, new sheet. Uh, why it is not loading? One second. Okay, so in this sheet, what I will try to do is, let me zoom it for you. Okay, so here I will be taking out the name. Okay, so the name, what I will be taking up, name and salary column. Okay, so I'm creating in a new table. Okay, but the names like this. Okay, not salary, let me take the sales value. So I don't have an salary column, so let me take the sales value, sales. Okay, so I need to check for this person called John. Okay, I'm putting out a value called X lookup, where I need to put my lookup value. This is a person who I am taking up lookup value. So I need to take up this lookup array. So lookup array where that particular value will be having. So this is my particular column where I have followed by comma. I need to give the return array. Where should be the value to be entered. Okay, so this is my value, return array. Okay, so let me consider the return value, which is the sales value what I'm expecting. Not this, once again. Yeah, this value what I want is this return value. So if not found, I will I don't want this match mode, I want exact match, and search mode I don't need. Okay, so when I enter this, I am getting NA. Well, let me check with some of the things. Okay, NA is not working. Sheet, okay, the things X lookup, V lookup is an advanced measure. Okay, so let us understand how many lookups are there. Okay, lookups are lookups in general when we were trying to see up. So there were H lookup, okay, there were V lookup, and right now we are using X lookup. Okay, so there are many sort of a lookups what we see. Okay, in this particular H lookup, okay, H lookup was been called as horizontal lookup, horizontal uh, lookup. Okay, so so V lookup is called vertical lookup, vertical lookup, and X lookup is a combination of horizontal with vertical, horizontal with vertical. That is a reason it is called X lookup. Okay, so I'm looking for a value. I'm looking for a value which is a value which is present here. Okay, uh, let me delete this. Mm, let me collect and delete. Okay, let me create another column, sales. Okay, so here I want to find a person. Okay, so for this I'm looking up for a person named called John. Okay, who stays in, do I have city? No, I don't have a city. Okay, so I am looking for the sales value what I need. Okay, uh, this person John is getting the sales of 200. Okay, let me write the sales value of a John is 200. Okay, so I want that value to be coming out here. So what I will take up is here. So I will type a formula X lookup. Okay, X lookup, the value, the lookup value what I'm taking up. So I need to take up the value, the lookup array value. Okay, so let me take, that was not working the previously. So let me take the, select the entire table right now. Okay, okay, let me take this entire table and let me take this particular sheet, and I want the particular return value, the sales value weight where I have stored is this particular segment, followed by that, followed by that. Okay, if I do this particular aspect I will be getting value error. Okay, value error. So followed by this, if not found, return array, if not found. Okay, I don't want this match mode, I want exact match. I'm getting again a value error. Okay, so sheet d2. mm, Let me do one thing, let me use this dollars, dollar. Okay, let me enter. Okay, the things are being taken up in the different sense. Okay, so let me not use this particular example then. Okay, let me use a different aspects if it has been not working. Okay, let me try to check with if it is working with VLOOKUP, if it is not working with XLOOKUP. The same formula that doesn't changes, but VLOOKUP. So the lookup value I am taking up the table array. So this is my table array what I want. One second. Yeah, this is the value what I am needed, followed by table array. The column index number is I'm taking out is one, two, three, fourth index. Okay, so followed by, okay, not this, 4, followed by approximate match or exact match. When I click on enter, okay, it need to take up. Okay, let me take not 4, let me take 1 and enter. Okay, it is not taking, since this lookup is been outsourced. Okay, so let us see that particular aspects in Google Sheets. Okay, so I'm using the old versions. I'm using the old versions of Google Sheet, sorry, Excel. So that is the thing, it is not coming for me. It might be working for you people. Okay, let us see in tomorrow's session, people. Okay, hope you got some of the interesting points in today's class. Okay, if you face any questions, any problem, let me check on for your understanding. Okay, let me take out your questions now if you have. If not, let us end the session till here. Yeah, people. Do you have any questions? So one more thing, when you are exiting, just fill your forms. Okay. Um, the form which has been mounted or pinned in your comment section, fill those forms. Okay. By tomorrow, let us check with respect to those. And in tomorrow's session, we will be taking out a new topic which is being called as SQL. Okay, so let us connect some part of the lookup again. Followed by that, we will be starting with SQL. Okay, so SQL is a main concept when you are a data analyst, followed by Python. So Excel is not an complete task what you need to think on. Okay, but the major focus will be on what you call SQL and Python. Okay, people. So all the best. Then I will be seeing in tomorrow's session. And in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer those. If not, you can drop for today class. Yeah, people. Bye for now. Okay. So what is the purpose of using CSV in a data? Is it to just to add a common is in each variable? No, unbostree, it is not the same what is happening in Excel. It is data which is likely to saved. Okay, let me showcase one example for you. What is happening in that data is there will be a timing of our data. Okay, so there is a data 1 where I am storing the file in Excel. Okay, so there is a column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay, in this column I'm trying to save the file 25, 40, 45. So for inserting one value I'm taking 1 second. Okay, for putting out three values, I'm taking overall 3 seconds. But in data 2, so overall for row 1, I'm taking 3 seconds. But for row 1 in data 2, but in row 1 in data 2, what I'm trying to do is I'm giving a second of 2 seconds only. In that time, what it is trying to do is it doesn't have a proper time. What it trying to do is it will not create a structural column or row kind of a data. It will create some commas related data. So where instead of getting you in a structure rows or a column part, you will be getting a proper data within couple of seconds, less than structured data, where you can load the data faster and you can open or view those data what you have. Okay, that is the use of a CSV file over an Excel file, and that is your concern over that. Yeah, is it clear, Anbush? Yeah, any other doubts, people? Fantastic. Yeah, thank you so much, people. Let us stop the session till here. We'll meet in tomorrow's session. The same timing, 5 to 7. Okay, I will be waiting for you. And don't miss tomorrow's session. The tomorrow's session is majorly focused on SQL, people. Okay, we will see some of the interesting insights in from SQL there. Okay, chalo then, bye people.